Now with Instagram, it's a lot more attainable to see yourself as an artist, you know, as opposed to like when I was coming here in 2004, there was no Instagram, you know? So you didn't really see this platform with all these black people doing all types of amazing things. There wasn't that. I did graffiti when I was a little kid. You know, the only really thing I was interested in was drawing, so when I turned 18, my mom was like, either you're gonna like move out of the house or you gotta go to school. I didn't really have that many options, really, because I was kind of like a little bad kid, kind of, so I wasn't getting into like a university or a Cal State, so I was either going to community college or you go apply to art school, you know? Someone that came to my high school, because I was in this little section of like kids who were like, to graduate you had to go to these like other classes, and they would come and talk to us about like other alternatives besides going to like university, you know? So ArtCenter was one of the schools that came. I applied to ArtCenter like 18, like stupid, not even really knowing what this all this was. Kind of coming up the hill for the first time. Just the whole kind of pristine setting. Yeah, it was a trip. It felt like art school. I was like, okay, this is like what it's supposed to be like, I guess. When I came, it was probably about, there was like 6 or 7 of us, like sprinkled through everything, you know? No, maybe 10, I don't know. Yeah, I went to private school my whole life, so, and then where I grew up in West Covina, which is like 20 minutes east of here. And there's no black people over there really, so, and all the black people went to public school and I went to private, so I was usually one of like 2. So when I came here, it was like regular to be like one of the only ones, you know? Printmaking with Tony Cepeda at the South Campus. He was just like a really down-to-earth person. It was a lot of white men, so I didn't connect with them. And he was an older white man that lived in Long Beach, so he was around black people. He was the only teacher that I could actually talk to, and like, I worked for him for a couple years. I worked for him after I graduated for like a hot second. I would say ArtCenter helped just because it showed, like in the very beginning, it showed me a lot of things that I later could comprehend. Kind of was like a wild kid or whatever, so needed that kind of like discipline. And it kind of like, it was like a fast forward or a kind of like a jump start into the way like a lot of things work in the art world actually. I would say the voice developed because there was no other real African, I don't want to say African American, but there was no other black voice really to compete with. So I could be as loud as I try to be very blatant about the work, and I guess that's what led me into what I do now. So yeah, I guess like the lack thereof being a black voice made me want to create one, if that makes any sense.